Hi, I'm Chahat and I'm here to teach you everything I know about investing, particularly in stock market, in less than 8 minutes. Let's go. Okay, so first up, let's start with whatever amount you're getting in your salary. Of course, you have your expenses, your, I don't know, trip fund, saving, etc. I think you should devote a particular amount, which should approximately be equal to, let's say, 20% towards investing. So, first up, as every smart person would suggest, let's start by taking an insurance first, probably a medical and life insurance. Try to see with your company whether they have insurance and you're getting it from your company, or you want to buy it individually along with for your parents, or whether your parents have bought one. Then of course term insurance, again whether the company has it, whether you need it. But I think medical insurance is like a bare minimum to begin with. You want like a detailed video on how to pick a correct medical insurance or term insurance, comment insurance, and maybe we can work on it in the future. And last thing before getting into the stock market, that I personally will suggest, try to keep about your a savings equivalent to 3 to 6 months of your expenditure in liquid, basically in your bank account or in cash or whatever form you prefer. Like some sort of emergency when comes, you can just use that money. This is not a exact course on how to analyze stocks, etc. This is just your easy go-to strategy for when you want to start investing. First step, you make a demat account. You can make it either directly with your bank account app, or you can make it with brokers like Zerodha or Grow. It's extremely easy to make a Zerodha or Grow account. You just need to put in your bank details, your PAN number, and I think you will be good to go. Next step, how much time do you really want to give into it? So I'm assuming you earn 1 lakh per month and you choose to invest 20,000 per month. So there is one thing called SIP, which is systematic investment plan, where you all would have seen that by the time of 60 you will have 1 crores if you put in 20,000 every month. That is okay thing, but I would personally recommend for the first few months or years of when you've started earning, maybe instead of going for a classical SIP, which actually deducts the amount from your bank account, put it into your plan, you can actually try to do a few things on your own. There is one thing called an individual stock and one thing called a mutual fund. Individual stock, you put in money, let's say in shares of a particular company. What is a share? You just buy a certain lot of that company. Not important what how it functions or the basic dividends and everything. Just you put some money in the company, and if the company does well, your money will grow. If the company does bad, your money will fall. That's it. Either you can buy individual shares or you can put money into mutual funds. Mutual funds is like when some big corporations try to do this entire managing portfolio thing of different shares on their own, and you just get the overall return of the portfolio. Now, which share to put money in or which mutual fund to go for? Of course, main question. So, firstly, if you really want to put in zero time into this entire process, just try and Google mutual funds that have given an average of 10, in fact, 8 to 15% of return in the past 5 to 10 years consistently. Pick a few and just go for it. Read 3-4 reviews and go for it. For shares, you still might not need to do that much research in the beginning thing, but you will have to do certain amount of research because you can't just blindly put money into any share, because you might end up losing money, and that's not a thing we want to do. So I won't talk in detail about how you need to analyze your shares, but of course you can check out on different videos available on YouTube for free, etc. A basic thing would be, try to invest in the company you have heard the name of, at least heard the name of. Try to find a company on which you don't find any current proceeding or hearing going on that past 20 months it's been on all-time lows or all-time highs, etc. Try to look at the particular market. For example, let's say you're putting your money into a stock of steel, let's say Tata Steel. So try to look at the average P by E of the steel market and of your company, and your desired P by E should be less. If you want to do none of this, there's companies or online platforms called Screener, Judge My Stock, etc. etc. Just put the name of the stock you're willing to invest in, and they might give you. You might also follow some external news channels that give you stock recommendations. Again, think through where you're putting your money in, and of course, don't always listen to the advice of just one person while putting your money anywhere. Again, I would reiterate, as a beginner, I think a easier thing to do would be just to put majority of your money in mutual funds, and then, or maybe if you have 20,000, so you can put 15 in mutual funds. And of course, for mutual funds also, you can divide into 3-4 mutual funds, 5,000 or 2-3,000. You don't have to put all in one again, because again, your overall portfolio should be positive, no matter if one or two of them are doing bad. For stocks, you might do a little bit more of research. If you want, comment stocks. I might make a more detailed video on how to analyze stocks. Okay, the only bad thing about mutual funds over stocks is that you have to hold mutual funds for a certain period. So let's say if you bought a mutual fund, every mutual fund has a certain exit period. So let's say it's 1 month or 5 months or 1 year, before which if you sell, you have to pay a certain penalty. Although for most mutual funds I have ever invested in, let's say in 1 year it gives you about 12%, and the penalty is as low as 1%, so your overall profit is still around 11%, which is good. And stocks, generally when you sell, they get sold the same day or the next day, you get your money in your account. So that is a good part about stocks, but again, you need to study your stocks before doing it. Now, coming to the world of AI, you might think that I might just ask ChatGPT, give me the top 5 stocks to put my money in, and you will get your answers. So this might not be true. Okay, even it might be possible if you write a very exact prompt on what timeline you want and what details you know of the stock and from when to, like a lot of things. But I would still recommend either go for a very certified AI that is trained for financial markets, particularly in India, or try to skip the idea of just blindly putting any information in AI, because that might not turn into your favor. But of course, you can always ask ChatGPT for help. One more thing, we have all heard of something called an IPO. What is an IPO? IPO is when a company is going public. They are putting out offer that hey, you can buy this company, so it's not listed right now. And right now we think that when the market's gonna open, it's gonna be listed for, let's say, 150 rupees per share, and you bought that IPO is purely a lottery system, and if you buy and the market opens on an actual price of 300, so you have like 150 profit directly per stock, and on an IPO you on an average have, let's say, 10 to 100 stocks. So it's a very small term, very quick gain you can have of a little bit of money. Other form of investments, like let's say real estate, gold, etc. etc. We've all heard that gold and silver have been giving crazy returns this financial year, which was 2025. I think they gave a overall of 140 to 180%. But two things over there: try to put your money in either gold ETFs, gold bonds, or maybe even a gold brick. Try to not go into gold jewelry per se, the jewelry you can wear, because there you pay an additional of 15 to 20% as making charges. So it's not technically an investment, but if you plan to buy jewelry anyway, so it's obviously any day better than just buying artificial jewelry or something like that. And of course, now when you've actually been in corporates or whatever for a certain period, now you can actually start putting your money into SIPs, because you have a savings of more than, let's say, 1 year that you can sustain in your bank account. That makes sense. Again, I think I've already mentioned that I am not an expert financial advisor. This is everything I know about the markets and I'm telling you. One thing that I would like to say, which is very complementary to what I'm teaching, is stocks and all and investing is one thing, but you always need to have that idea of experience. You need to put your money into experiences. So if something, let's say, might delay your investment by a little bit, let's say this month you might want to go for something like snorkeling, which is a 10,000 rupee experience, and you will not be able to put in 20,000 in your investments, I would say consider it, because YOLO. Okay, so this was like a very, very, very brief overview when you want to start investing. So yeah, happy investing. Let me know if you have any other questions or things you want a deeper delve into it. I might try to make another video on it in the future.